Wang's rescue wasn't the end of the story. It was just the beginning of something much, much bigger. Something started to happen in Chinese social media. Families who'd been searching alone for their missing loved ones suddenly saw an opening. If public pressure could bring Wang home just after 4 days, maybe it could work for their family members too. So there was a petition that was growing in China. It started with 174 names. Families of people believed to be trapped in Myanmar scam compounds like the one Wang Xing was in. Parents, siblings, friends, all posting details, the names, ages, last known locations, dates where the contact stopped. The list was growing fast. By January 10th, it was over 400 names. And then by January 15th, it was pushing 800. By the end of the month, the spreadsheet had exploded over 1,200 missing people. All Chinese nationals, this is just in China, all believed to be trapped somewhere along the Myanmar-Thailand border, locked in the compounds like Wang was in. Now, obviously, everyone wanted the same outcome for their missing loved ones. And Thailand's tourism industry was collapsing. And we're not just talking about a small dip, it was in a free fall. Chinese tourists make up a large part of Thailand's market. We're talking billions of dollars annually. Hotels, restaurants, tour operators, all dependent on those visitors. But after Wang's story went viral, Chinese travelers started to cancel their trips. Flight cancellations from China to Thailand surged to over 150% over one weekend. Travel forums and social media were flooded with warnings, people posting guides on how to cancel Thailand bookings with minimal fees. Stories about the scam compounds were spreading like fire. The fear wasn't just about what happened to Wang, it was about all those other stories that were coming out. Remember, there was a spreadsheet with 1,200 plus names suspected of being trapped in Thailand. There were concert cancellations. Hong Kong singer Isan Chan was supposed to have a performance in Bangkok. He canceled it because of safety concerns. Lunar New Year was approaching, and this is China's biggest travel season. Thai tourism operators should have been printing money during this time, but instead they were watching their bookings evaporate. The economic pressure on Thailand's government was now growing. In late January, China sent Liu Zhongyi, China's Assistant Minister of Public Security. He went to Thailand and sat down with Thai officials and shared everything that he knew. There was 36 major Chinese scamming gangs operating in Myanmar border areas. Their intel said that there was over 100,000 people working in these compounds. Liu visited Mae Sot Mawadi border region personally. He looked across the river and saw the compounds. KK Park, Shui Koko, all those places where thousands of people were trapped. He reportedly told Thai officials exactly what needed to happen. Cut the power, cut the phone service, and choke these operations until they collapse. So Thailand was stuck between economic disaster and diplomatic necessity. They needed Chinese tourists back, but actually shutting down the scam compounds, that meant confronting the groups who ran them. Groups with military protection, groups that had been operating with impunity for years. Early February, Thailand's prime minister flew to Beijing. She met with Xi Jinping and other Chinese leaders. The message she brought was clear. Thailand would absolutely take action, real action. So on February 5th, 2025, Thailand cut the power to 5 locations along the Myanmar border: Myawaddy, Phaya Tanzu, Tachelek, Shui Koko, and Leke Ka, all known hubs for scam operations. All of these small towns located in Myanmar, they got their power, fuel, and internet all from Thailand across the river. Thailand was basically saying, if you're going to run these operations, you're not going to use our power, you're not going to use our electricity, you're not going to use us. You're cut off. The goal was to make it impossible for these compounds to function. Around mid-February, people started to cross the border from Myanmar back into Thailand in small groups. First, it started with dozens of people, and then hundreds, and then thousands. By late February, there was over 7,000 people waiting to leave Myanmar. They were packed in holding areas, waiting for their countries to process them and bring them home. Over half were Chinese nationals. The rest came from all over the world: Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, the Philippines, Ethiopia, Brazil. There were victims from every continent. All of them had been working in these scam compounds. Though the line between victim and perpetrator was blurry, Some had been trafficked and forced to work, and some had been complicit in these operations. Figuring out which was becoming a massive undertaking. NGOs like the International Justice Mission provided translators and assistants. The teams conducted interviews trying to figure out who qualified as a human trafficking victim and who was a willing participant. The process had stages: initial screenings at the border, questions about how they got there, what happened when they arrived, whether they had been threatened or beaten. Then more detailed interviews, verification of their stories, cross-checking with other witnesses. If someone was identified as a trafficking victim, they got transferred to shelters for counseling and repatriation assistance. If not, they appeared in Thai court. They got fined, detained in immigration centers, and then deported as illegal workers. But proving you were a victim wasn't simple. The burden of proof fell on the person being interviewed. Like Indonesia, they conducted their own interviews, trying to separate victims from people who had been actively participating in fraud operations. When Chinese nationals repatriated, they arrived in handcuffs, wearing jumpsuits. China treated them all as criminals and suspects. The process was complicated. It required dealing with multiple law enforcement agencies. It could take weeks or months. Even though Thailand was trying to process everyone as fast as they couldn't help but be overwhelmed. They could handle maybe 300 people a day, but with over 7,000 people waiting and more coming out daily, it ended up with people stuck in limbo. This was one of the largest release of potential trafficking victims ever seen. The logistics were impossible: housing them, feeding them, verifying identities, coordinating with dozens of countries for repatriation. It's easy to see how Thailand was drowning in the scale of it. The UN estimates that there's over 120,000 people working in online scam centers in Myanmar, and another 100,000 in Cambodia. Thousands more scattered across Laos and other Southeast Asian countries. That entire region generates billions of dollars annually through scam operations. The Thai-Myanmar border crackdown maybe released 10,000 people at most. That's less than 10% of the total estimate. So the industry is still adapting and is spreading out, becoming harder to target with localized operations. What makes this so hard to stop is that these aren't amateur criminals running small cons. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry with infrastructure that sort of looks like Fortune 500 corporations. They have HR departments, they have recruiters, they have training programs teaching other people how to scam. They have full teams maintaining operations and financial systems moving money internationally. And they have security forces protecting locations. Each piece is a part of a system refined through thousands of previous operations. Wang's story wasn't unique. It's a glimpse into an industry that's become professional, adaptable, and brutally effective. The system is still running, it's still recruiting, it's still evolving, because the business of scamming people has become exactly that, a business.